Norn Rad lived on Zenla with the love of his life, Shalabal. Zenla, being the perfect planet, attracted the Devourer of Worlds, Galactus, to it. To prevent Galactus from consuming the planet, Norn agrees to become his herald and help him seek out other planets worthy of consumption, leaving Shalabal behind along with his entire life, forever. And Galactus gives Norn Rad a portion of the power cosmic, which gives Norn super strength, endurance, and the ability to absorb and manipulate the universe's ambient energy. Norn Rad is no more. All that is left is the Silver Surfer. So who should play Silver Surfer in the MCU? In this video, I'm going to go through 6 actors I think would do a great job at portraying Silver Surfer in the MCU. So let's begin. Now, first up is Rami Malek. Rami Malek played Freddie Mercury in Bohemian Rhapsody, and he's really convincing in any role that he's in. He can really portray such a large variety of emotions. He also played Elliot in Mr. Robot. In that show, Rami really showed how intense he can act, and that would definitely help portraying Silver Surfer, more specifically the Norn Rad aspects of the character. There are times in the show where he has this monotone kind of voice, but then his voice slowly transitions and it becomes more and more emotional. And Silver Surfer is known to have a very monotone kind of voice, but also the intense emotions that Rami Malek can portray would really help give an emotional performance when he's playing Norn Rad, and when Norn Rad has to say goodbye to Shalabal on Zenla. Obviously, you would want to make that scene very emotional because he's saying goodbye to his loved one. So you want a very intense and emotional performance, and Rami Malek would definitely give that emotional performance.
But I've helped a lot of people. I want a way out of loneliness. Just like you.
Alright, next up, I think Pedro Pascal would be a great Silver Surfer. He obviously played Mando on The Mandalorian, and Pedro does a great job at portraying the pain and seriousness even while wearing a mask. You can just tell which emotion Mando is feeling even when he has the mask on, because Pedro Pascal does such a great job at portraying those emotions with his body language. It's really a testament to how good of an actor Pedro Pascal actually is. A lot of the times in the show, he has that monotone kind of voice, which would also obviously help with playing Silver Surfer. For the times Silver Surfer is void of any emotion while serving Galactus, Pedro can still be entertaining because of his stoic and serious voice. Pedro really made Mando my favorite Star Wars character. But also, Mando has a very dark and serious and tragic past, and a lot of the times you can tell that he has that pain in his voice. And Silver Surfer really has no shortage of emotional moments. A lot of the times in the comics, he's very depressed because he misses being on Zenla with Shalabal. Other times, he's just really depressed because he thinks about how he's helped Galactus devour planets. So Pedro Pascal would also do a good job at portraying those sad moments.
I can bring you in warm, or I can bring you in cold.
Okay, now I'm going to be talking about Oscar Isaac. Oscar Isaac obviously played Poe in the new Star Wars trilogy, and he really did make Poe a very charismatic and kind character. Poe is a very down-to-earth character with a lot of charisma and likability. This sort of down-to-earth energy would bring the humanity to Norn Rad. Like, essentially, Silver Surfer obviously is a herald of Galactus. He can't really think for himself, essentially. When Galactus and Silver Surfer come to Earth so Galactus can consume the planet, Silver Surfer encounters the Fantastic Four, and more importantly, Alicia Masters. I say more importantly because she actually inspires Silver Surfer to do the right thing. He's inspired by her nobility and her compassion. She talks him to protecting Earth, and he ends up actually turning on Galactus. And this just proves that Norn Rad was still in there, deep down. So you obviously do want an actor who can portray the humanity of Silver Surfer. But for the times he's serving Galactus, you obviously want an actor who can portray a character who's very, void of emotion, essentially. And also, Oscar Isaac played Apocalypse in X-Men Apocalypse. Listen, I'm not gonna defend that movie. That movie is seriously shit. It's terrible. No. But at the same time, Oscar Isaac showed that he actually has a lot of vocal range, that he can actually make his voice sound very different. He can make it sound very cool, very deep and very serious. So yeah, he has a lot of vocal range, and because of that, he would be able to give Silver Surfer a very cool voice. You know, Silver Surfer is definitely a very dark character because of his sad origin. You obviously want an actor who can portray the dark tones of the character, and Oscar Isaac did play Nathan in Ex Machina, which was definitely a very darker and grounded movie. So he definitely has experience with darker roles. So yeah, I think he would be a great fit for Silver Surfer.
Structured gel. I had to get away from circuitry. I needed something that could arrange and rearrange on a molecular level, but keep its form when required. Holding for memories, shifting for thoughts.
Alright, next up is Killian Merc. Throughout the years, Killian has starred in a lot of Christopher Nolan films, Dunkirk, The Dark Knight trilogy, Inception, and in all of those movies, he showed that he's a very good actor, and he can handle the gritty and darker tones of all of those worlds. He can bring a really serious tone to the role of Silver Surfer. And he's also shown he's got a lot of emotional range because of his role as Tommy in Peaky Blinders. So he can obviously bring that humanity to the role that I keep mentioning. I don't have much to say on this one. I just think it would be a great fit. Simple as that.
He looked at me the wrong way. It's not a good idea to look at Tommy Shelby the wrong way.
Next up is Eddie Redmayne. His voice is just a great fit. It's not too high and it's not too low. It's perfectly pitched for the role. He played Stephen Hawking in The Theory of Everything, and he really did a great job in that movie. Even in the movie after he loses his ability to talk, just the emotions that he portrays on his face is just truly a testament to how good of an actor he is. He just did such a great job at playing Stephen Hawking. Alongside Felicity Jones as Jane in the movie, they played a couple whose relationship goes into a very sad direction. And because of this, he would be able to bring the emotion to Norrin Rad and bring us a really sad goodbye scene between Norrin and Shia LaBeouf.
Prove with a single equation that time had a beginning. Wouldn't that be nice, Professor?
Alright, next up is Dumbo Gleason. Because of his roles in a lot of romantic movies, he would bring the charismatic side to Norrin Rad. He would really bring out the heart and soul of the character. In Brooklyn, he shows he can be very charismatic and endearing, and also he can bring the grit and the darker tones because he also played the character in Ex Machina, Caleb. Also, he can play an unlikable jackass as well because he played Hugs in the Star Wars films. He's shown he can play very charismatic characters and very unlikable characters, and that shows how much range he has as an actor. Obviously, shouldn't make Silver Surfer a jackass. I'm just discussing how much range Dumbo Gleason has as an actor.
I can't let you just go back to America without saying anything. I regret it for the rest of my life. So, I don't want you to go.
So those are all my picks for the role of Silver Surfer in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Let me know what you think about my casting in the comment section, and let me know who you would cast as the character. I think the best way to introduce Silver Surfer in the MCU would be to give him his own film before you make him encounter the Fantastic Four. A good chunk of the movie should take place on Zenla before he becomes Silver Surfer, and so we could just see him live out his life with Shia LaBeouf, and we could really feel for Norrin Rad. That's so when Galactus finally comes and he gets taken away from Zenla and he sacrifices himself, we can actually feel for the character even more. Regardless of who plays the character, I'm just super excited to see him appear in the Marvel Cinematic Universe eventually. If you want to see more Marvel Fancast videos just like this one, make sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn notifications on, because my next video is going to be a Galactus Fancast. So if you're excited for that, make sure to stay tuned, and I'll see you in the next one.